Okay, I'm gonna hop into screen share. Unless you guys got any quick other questions, and I'll go over some more things about what we're thinking about. I'm gonna roll through 2 videos. I'm not making good time. I'm way behind. Swimming is something I could talk about for like 9 hours, but I gotta beat, I gotta finish this before my wife gets back with our demon toddler from her stroller walk. Don't tell him I said that, I love him. So I'm gonna show an open water swim race, or at least a piece of it, just to highlight and go over a few things. And I'm gonna hop back over to highlight a few things that I've talked about with Katie Ledecky, and where she just like obliterated the 1500 meter world records. I could watch her swim for like on a loop for like 24 hours. And then I'm gonna hop over and do a swim analysis live. So I'll probably cover these 2 videos quick. I just wanna give you a visual of kind of what I've said already. And I'll cover this quickly about kicking. Kicking is fine. Kicking too much is bad. Because most of you can't kick correctly. You kick from your knee, you kick like this, right? You look like a really jerky inchworm. When you kick, it should be like this, from the hip. Most of you, and I might try to pull up a video that actually, a lot of you slow yourself down when you kick like this, because it's a herky-jerky movement that actually pulls your waist back like this, instead of keeping things fluid like this. The other reason I don't like for you to kick a lot, not just you can't swim very well, or you can't kick very well. What do your legs have? The biggest muscles in your body: quads, hamstrings, calves. What do they require to move fast and to work? Blood, oxygen, all those things to help make you go either not nearly as fast as you want to with a poor return on investment, or for a lot of you, go what? Go slower. Okay, that's why I'm a huge fan of just like relaxing the legs, and we'll see that. So I'm gonna pop over and do this. Pop over here first. So a couple things I want to highlight with you guys first. This is an open water. This is the you can see, this is the 2019 Open Water National Championships 5K full race. I just want you to watch it for a second. And then I'm going to talk about some of the things, or I might actually just talk as they're swimming. And I need either Rachel, Stephanie, or Ross to give me a thumbs up that you can see this playing. Okay, so a couple of things. When I talk about stroke rate, I talk about not moving your arms slow. What are they doing? They are not moving their arms slow. They are swimming very, very powerful. Another thing you might notice is, while especially with the front lead two, this is to me, it's super obvious. But to me, the front two, they are barely kicking. They might be moving their feet and their legs, but they are barely kicking. I want to go back just a second here. See that right there? She went right back here. I'm going to go back again and bring this through. Is you will see them barely moving their feet up, and then their feet down, and then their feet up, and then their feet down. You'll also notice they breathe every stroke. They also they'll give you a side shot here in a second, but how square they swim, how fast their arms move, how they finish far back behind them, how they breathe every stroke. And I think here in a second, they're going to move to the front view. There we go. I want you to watch how often the best swimmers in the world, even that they know where they're going, how often they sight. Every 2 to 3 strokes, they're sighting. These are the best swimmers in the world in open water. I want to pause this quickly. And they sight every 2 to 4 strokes. It's that important, especially once you get faster. It is that important to ensure you are going in the right direction. Because for these swimmers, and as you get faster, it'll do no good for you to improve your swim time in the pool. It'll make it basically pointless. For you to get faster in the pool, all it's going to do is allow you to get further and farther in the wrong direction. It's actually going to be a negative, not a positive, right? If you're going to be fast, but you're not going to know where to go. Another thing, do you notice how all you see is their upper back? That's all you see is their upper back. That's what I consider swimming. I'm going to pull it back again. That's what I consider swimming high in the water. We talk about this at camp a lot. That is why swimming in the open water is a strength sport. If I can see your upper back, then you're swimming strong. You don't see their legs kicking really, really hard. They'll pop to the side view here in a second. But what you can see is their whole upper body and their whole upper back. You can see, especially for the ladies right here, their whole upper back is out of the water. That's how high in the water they're swimming. You don't see their legs thrashing. You can't even see their legs. All you see is their upper body and back. That's why open water swimming is such a strength sport. Because listen, yes, they're swimming a 5K, but you know what else they're not doing? Is they're not getting out of the water, running really fast, hopping on a bike, biking for however many miles, and then getting off said bike, and then running however many miles. And they're still not kicking very much. Not only is it more efficient to gain a really strong stroke from a speed standpoint, but from an effort standpoint, it totally lowers your rate of perceived exertion. And it also allows your legs to you're not taking a breather. But the last thing you want to do, in many athletes that kick super hard in the pool and they get their fastest times in the pool and they jump into a race because people do this. We all do this. I know I do this. I'll swim in the pool. I kick very little, but even in a race, I'm like, I don't want to pretend like I've got Lieutenant Dan legs. I want to just kind of like dangle them. They're not there. I'm using like very, very, very little of them. So if you don't work on body positioning, if you don't work on your posture in swimming, you're going to sink if you don't have those. But swimming with your kicking is not something you need to focus on in order to keep your body high in the water. Before I move over to my favorite swimmer ever, I'm going to pop in and see if I had any quick questions. I don't. I'll give you guys about 10 seconds to pop one in. And then I'm going to go back to Katie Ledecky. Does anybody here not know who Katie Ledecky is? Don't answer that. Teresa Steele, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed, Teresa Steele. I'm going to pull back up. Katie, move this so I can pause it. This is, I think, 1,400 in to her 1,500 world record free where she like crushes it. Let me pull this back a minute. I want you to see, how little she's kicking. She breathes to one side only for a mile. She breathes to one side. She does a little bit, what I consider like a very weak, well, it's not weak, it's Katie Ledecky, but it has like a very soft 2-beat kick. And that's after, I think, so she only has 100 meters left. Now you see her picking up the kick here, but she waits until the last 100 meters of a world record shattering even you still can't even see her feet there. But see how high she is in the water? You can almost see her waist. You guys see that? When she was swimming on the side, you can almost see, I want to pull that back again. You guys can almost see her waist. When she does like a big pull like that, that's how high you want to feel like you're swimming in the water. Turnover is fast. She's breathing to one side the entire race. This is also what you would consider, going back to, I think, Chris Sisk. A lot of people would consider, this is her right here, obviously, beating every other woman by like 50 meters. This is what a lot of people would consider a gallop stroke. She is doing a gigantic pull on her right and then a little bit less on the left. That's why you kind of see it kind of has I don't want to call it a hitch. But you can see it well here. She'll come off. She goes like 1, 2, 1, 2. See how much higher she comes out of the water when she breathes on the right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So that, Chris, that was your gallop stroke drum. But again, just highlighting how you can only see one goggle when she breathes. So for those of you who want to practice breathing better, if you can take a breath and you can look out of one goggle and see the outside of the pool, but look down with this one and it's still in the water, that's the perfect breath. It takes practice, but that is a great way to practice very minimal head roll and body roll is if you can turn like this, and again, I can see the lifeguard here or whatever else on the water, but I can look down in this goggle and it's still in the water. That's the perfect breath. That also prevents you from over rotating.